Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. We're going to cut to the chase right away.
Really?
We're giving away our very first award ever on Quackalope.
The Golden Quack.
Golden Quack, a lovely little wax seal stamp of the Quackalope and Rubber Duck logo combined. And we're giving it away to a game called Into the Outside. We have the Prelude here in front of us. It's by Napful Games. And there's a very good reason why this game has earned its spot as the very first, and I'm proud to say it, the very first Golden Quack awarded game.
And there might be a reason why you haven't even heard of this one yet, too.
Listen, this game is available right now. In fact, it's available to you literally today.
For free.
For free. Our very first award that we're ever giving out is to
A print and play.
a print and play that has been made available to you, the audience, that is a love letter to everything that I think this industry is about. It is about community. It's about artistic expression. It is about storytelling and adventure and designing and creating something with your own hands that is the game that you want to play. And along with that, the little wax seal here, the Golden Quack Award, it stands for two things. And this is what it'll stand for as we give out more down the road. Stands for, first, a game that I'm willing to recommend. That I'm willing to go on camera and tell my audience, I believe you should print this game out and try it. You should play it. Will those games be perfect?
No, probably not.
No game ever is. But I can confidently say I am enthralled with and absolutely love what Nat and Nell has created with Into the Outside. But the second thing is going to be the person behind the game itself. That's what the Golden Quack Award means.
So it's
not
both for
just
mechanical excellence and also personal excellence.
Nat and Nell's been part of our community for a long time. I have watched this game develop as he has playtested and created on Discord. He is a well-respected artistic professional in his own field, which is not in the board game industry.
Correct.
In a lot of ways, he's actually more qualified than
Either of us.
either of
100%.
us are.
Oh, yeah.
But he has been an invested part of our community. He's been a fan, a supporter, a friend, a playtester. You might have seen him on some videos that we have done, TTS gameplays with Simon or with Glass Cannon, with Frostpunk.
So many.
There's been a lot of ways that he has been central to what Quackalope is and represents. But that alone would not have gotten him this award.
Of course not. There has to be a good game here.
There's a lot of people that I love and care about and am invested in. But I'm impressed. I'm so impressed with what he's created. He did the artwork, the writing, the style, the mechanics, the game design. All of this is him. And right now the Prelude is available. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and some other special things will be coming on down the line. And I can promise you one thing. I will not be the last person to be giving Nat and Nell an award in this industry. And you're going to want to follow along. Because in a year or two, you're going to want to be able to brag that you were one of the early fans.
Yeah, what do you call it? The shop floor or something like that?
Exactly. So, this is a print and play. We do have more of a produced copy. I, of course, have a spiral bound book here that was created. I wanted to show off something official, and I actually got the cards printed out so that I could show them off as well. Now, you could do that yourself, but this is designed specifically to
just go on paper.
be printed out, cut out with scissors. Everything down to the rule book that we have right here is just designed to be printed out so that you can cut it apart and have a fully finished copy for yourself, along with a little Quackalope stamp, of course. Let's get into what this game is.
So, Into the Outside is a flip and write in a certain way.
Flip and write, and a narrative-driven one at that. It's a cooperative flip and write with a narrative choose-your-own-adventure journey that you're going to be taking along the way.
As you go through the game.
You might have just clued into one of the reasons why I'm in love with this. It's inspired by games and concepts, like KDM-esque lore, or Over the Garden Wall when it comes to the aesthetic and the nightmare. Any of those cartoony style horrific things. It has that essence of like it has an essence of like a boutique nightmare.
Yeah. Oh, which reminds us of what other game, Jesse?
I don't know.
Oh, no one's ever coined boutique nightmare before. So, in terms of the mechanical excellence of this game, it's going to come down how the roll and write ideas or conceits are kind of evolved and innovative on a little bit.
Yep.
This is a survival-based roll and write game with narrative portions, narrative being one of the strongest elements throughout it. As you go through the game, the premise is that you are in some type of cursed woods. Something is amiss.
I mean, if you want to start with the premise, we could start with the premise.
Well, of course, it is a narrative-based game.
You don't remember how long it's been since you found yourself lost in the forest. In fact, you don't even remember how you ended up here. While scavenging through these woods, you stumbled across other wanderers, all suffering the same strange amnesia, and together you might make it out alive. As weeks have passed, you've made a couple of close friends, without whom you would have surely gone mad by now. Together, you and a small clique within the greater camp, but ultimately, survival for you and your friends is all that matters. Your cell phone ran out of battery ages ago, not that it would help you much without signal, other than help you maintain your sanity while you browse through photos of your life before. You cling desperately to those distant memories of your life back home before you were lost. They slip farther away with each passing day, or what would be day. You aren't sure if daytime even exists here. Either everyone keeps sleeping through it, or night is unyielding in its hellscape. Your campmates refer to the current time of everlasting night as the early hours, the mid-hours, and the late hours, measured by the moon's movement in the sky, a cold eye that just stares judgmentally from above, emitting a creepy crimson glow. Ever since you found yourself lost in these woods, you've noticed him, always lurking just in the corner of your eye, a giant, gaunt, and long-limbed figure, his luminescent yellow eyes following you through the forest. Your friends insist that it's just your imagination, and even if there is a man out there, he could only be like us, friendly and lost out here. But you know he's there, and for some reason, he's stalking you. A sudden gust spews through the clearing, and the campfire struggles to grasp at the bundle of twigs below it. Your campmates insist. It's best we move on and make camp farther along. The forest seems to agree as well, as once everyone has packed up their belongings, clawing cold winds calm and restrained to a light breeze. You must escape your terrifying stalker, and carve a path through the trees to make it out of the woods. But to do so, you must survive.
And that's going to be the most challenging thing about this game. Basically, it boils down to 2 to 3 basic steps. You will draw cards. When you draw cards, you are trying to push your luck
to get a certain degree of resources. So this deck here is going to be manipulated throughout the course of the game, but you have a spread of various resources, various story cards and elements that get added in, and then beasts and creatures that maybe you shouldn't come across.
You really don't want those.
And you kind of know the odds that you're facing, but in order to collect the food and the wood you need so that you don't starve or go cold, you'll continue pressing into this pile. There's consequences to that.
Yes.
And as you take those resources, you'll hopefully resolve with everything you need. If in the off chance you have an excess, you'll add that to your board and it'll start buffing up your character.
Yep, correct. And you're able to store some of these elements so that you can use them in the future. And the way that you're using these elements and using that excess is that you're also trying to get certain successes and certain abilities so that you can unlock permanent boons that you can activate later in the game.
Yep.
So there is an evolution, there's a progress to how your character develops as you start going through that narrative journey. However, things aren't as cheery as we might be saying, because as we stated, if you push your luck a little bit too much, there's going to be some major repercussions.
Now, there's a bit of mediation you can do to the creatures and beasts that you can come across, from throwing your already dead cell phone for a one-time use Hail Mary, or crafting resources based off of the different types of excess resources you're able to get. A hatchet, a basket, red mushrooms, a raft, cooking pot, or a deer heart. Those will allow you to control how much of a pressure luck mechanic's there. Now, the second element of this, after you've collected the resources you need, is going to be diving into
the actual story
the
phase.
core story itself. Here you're going to be reading a scenario, rolling dice to see how many successes or failures you'll end up with.
Yeah.
Now, those numbers, again, will be mediated based off of how many or where you've decided to spend your experience points. That will result in a narrative pathway, result in boons or consequences, and then continue the story back into the deck, back into the book, until you finally come to one of a variety of different potential endings. Now, this is just the prelude, and it'll spin into a wider choose-your-own-adventure story.
And the interesting thing of that is that the level of customization that you're going to be able to do with your characters and how things are going to evolve is not just tied to the story, it's tied to the mechanics, and it's tied to the things that you might find out in the future as well. The system that now has developed, the idea of tying in a roll and write with narrative adventure and consequences is fascinating. And it's not something that we've seen in this genre before.
I don't believe so. I know for myself, I love the writing and the adventure and the journey through here. So we've praised this a lot. I mean, we've praised it enough that we are attaching our name to it. Let's get critical. Let's be honest, because if I'm sending people to go pay nothing for this game, to print it out and play it, I want to give them honest feedback on what I'm still looking for as it starts being developed. Again, it's a sole independent creator who's working on this title. It is a finished, published thing at the moment, but there's still iterations coming. I, down the road, cannot wait to see more character customization when it comes to the items that you have, when it comes to the potential pathways that you can build, and even developing some of your little tribes or friends. There is enough interest in this right now to explore the different abilities that you have. But as we start getting more and more varied abilities that tie directly to these different progression paths, that will give more agency over the journey that I'm on, and more of a personal touch here on the board.
So for me, it has to come down to the way that those items and those abilities will tie into the deck, right? The concept of mitigation right now feels, it is only a prelude, right? So we only have very limited means of mitigating the luck or the luck of the draw that we're getting from that item deck there. So seeing how we're able to manipulate cards, seeing how I'm able to assist you on your turn a little bit more, you know,
because it is a cooperative
nature.
game. Now there is a bit of cooperative interaction, but not as much as you'd maybe expect.
So let's expand on what cooperation there is right now.
So cooperation right now is going to largely come down to the story elements of this. Making a decision and trying to resolve a role, or deciding what pathway you go down collectively as a team, which does have consequences for everyone in the tribe. But when it comes to the pressure luck element, there's not a lot of interplay between players. I agree, I'd like to see a little bit more interplay as the game continues to develop. And then the final thing, one thing that has been added since the very first time we played it, is going to be the integration of story cards into this main deck. It not only changes the odds, but opens up new narrative pathways that you can explore. I think that's awesome. I cannot wait to see more of this as the game moves into Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and future and beyond. Now, the only reason we're giving you critical or realistic feedback of the game is because I want you to walk into this knowing what you're getting.
Exactly.
Because it's good. Let me stop and pause on that for a moment. The artwork, the style, the mechanics, the journey you're on is good. The story is so involved and ends up in locations and places that you definitely didn't see coming. And the way that this game has continued to be iterated on and developed with new mechanics and modules freely added to it, I really do love it. Now, it plays 1 to 6 players.
Sure.
I don't know that I would sit down at 6 players to play this. For me, this is probably a 1 to 3 adventure. It's a story that you're telling, and you want to make sure you can get back to the initial players, sort of flipping the cards, pressing their luck, and watching things
and the way
fall
that works is that everybody is drawing from the same deck. Once a player is done drawing from that draw deck, they reshuffle and then
so that the odds
again.
are always the same. Outside of that, I think it's a video.
It is.
I am going to be bringing gameplay and a how to play here to the channel. So if you're interested, or you just want us to remind you, we will have more content coming out, sharing and walking you through this game and going on our own adventure through it. But really, follow the link at the very top of this video, swing over to the print and play, and spend some time checking out this title for yourself. I guarantee that Nat and Nell would not only be excited to have people playing their game, but also I guarantee he'd be open to critical insight, feedback, just your conversation around this title. So that as we get the next chapters, as Nat keeps developing this system, we're going to see it get better and better. And better. I'm super proud to be giving out the very first Golden Quack Award to a independent, community-focused member one of our Discord moderators, and to someone who has made and given away a game for free. Months of hard work.
Yeah.
Time and dedication and resources and energy. And that, if anything, sets the standard for what I expect every other Golden Quack to meet. If they don't exceed this person, they won't get it.
High bar to reach. But with that said, thank you so very much for checking out this video and checking out this new game. As we said, you can find this by going to notfullgames.com, downloading the assets, or just putting into the outside in the internet, and you'll be able to find it. Get those print and plays, and please give this one a shot.
And if you want to play with a designer, swing over to our Discord community.
Oh yeah, you can.
Where I am sure he would be glad to hang out and play with you. All that being said, if you're a content creator, I mean, it's worth checking out.
But regardless of what you do, remember to do the important thing.
Get out and play some games.
We'll see you guys next time. And congratulations to Diana Nell.